I've always been a naturalist of sorts, but my wife had a small garden business, very tiny thing, and one of her promotional pieces that showed the birdhouse garden had a whimsical Victorian birdhouse drawn or painted in the middle of it. Well, when she'd sell her little garden plan, then the girls would ask her for that birdhouse, and she'd have to explain that, but I don't have it. I said to her, well, why don't we try and make up a couple, and we'll do a Victorian replicas, because that seems to be so popular here in Grand Rapids. And to my amazement, suddenly we got so many orders for these pieces that I couldn't keep up, and then I had to go out and buy some barns. And now I have parts of about 3 of them at home. Oh, it's going to be toughy. Aha! See, there's a lot of cross members up there holding that guy on there. The south side of these barns is always the most weathered and usually the least desirable salvage material for any purpose, but especially for building conservation boxes for animals. You don't want to build something out of material that isn't going to stand up to the weather, and most of this is falling into toothpicks pretty much. But on the east and the north side, it's always in better condition. This seems to be a universal fact.
I've owned the property almost 12 years now, and when I first moved onto the property, this barn was in a lot better condition, but over the course of time, I found out that the foundation was too weak for it to be rebuilt, so it was coming down at some point anyway, and gradually through the years it was doing that. What I wanted to see happen was that this would be used for something, that kind of the legacy of this old barn continue in another fashion. So, and I thought that was a great use of it. I'm a bird lover myself, and so I talked to him, and we worked out an arrangement to harvest some of this wood for his birdhouses.
This wood is just like a coral reef. Look at all the organisms that grow on that. And when you build a birdhouse out of this material, I mean, oh, look at that. There's one of our little buddies right there. Oh, he's a little bit scared. I'm going to find a new home for him in a minute. But, yeah, you cut this on the saw, and it smells just like the cows. It smells just like the cows and the horses that blessed it. So the birds, wild animals that live in a box made out of this stuff, feel right at home. It's the right stuff. Well, it's lovely. It's just lovely. I mean, these are specialty items. Heck, I've been producing about 100 of them a year, you know, which for me is a lot, but on a manufacturing level is a snowflake. You know, it's pretty tiny. So they are very unique specialty items, and you know, I offer them a long-term a guarantee that if anything goes wrong with them, they can always come back to me and I'll repair them, make sure that there's some longevity in the product. You know, if Johnny throws the baseball and knocks the spire off the top, well, you know, I can fix that, and I'm happy to do it because I wanted to produce an item that was a good piece of public relations for nature and its celebration. I can see some of these timbers are hanging on by a prayer. I've had experiences where you bang on a couple of these and one of those big timbers will come flashing right down. So you want to have some kind of vigilance. Always keep your eyes up when you're working, you know, and don't go to sleep. It's easy enough to get injured in a blink of an eye. There's more a spiritual sense of doing good that comes from this, that helps you through the difficult parts, like climbing the ladder and whacking the boards off, because you know that something of consequence is being done. And heck, it's a shame to think of this going up in smoke, because that's frequently the option. That's what happens to these things. They burn them or they crush them. And here's some grandfather's handiwork right here, lovingly preserved as a birdhouse, is really a wonderful thing, in my opinion.